Hey everybody, welcome back to Flatirons. I'm so glad that you joined us this week. I'm so happy to be with you this week. I'm actually in a really, really good mood today, which is kind of ironic, kind of given what I want to talk to you about here in just a few minutes. Let me explain that. Is over the last several weeks, we've been putting out some feelers and asking questions to you all, just asking what is it that you most want to hear, not from Jim or Ben, most want to hear from God based on what's going on in your life right now, right? Those are really, really good questions, and that's what we're going to look at today. So in fact, let's get started right now. Let me introduce you to some people. Hey, so this is TJ. He's on our worship team. So TJ, tell us a little about your life and then kind of the scary part right now.
Yeah, so I have jobs in both music and real estate.
Yeah.
And both are totally shut down right now.
Yeah, they are. So what does that mean for you?
It means I'm looking around and I'm not totally sure where rent's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, we're gonna look at it, okay? Hey, this is John. John, tell us a little bit about your life and what's the scary part right now?
I'm a full-time musician.
Yeah.
So when I'm not here at Flatirons on the weekends, I'm off on the road somewhere.
Yeah.
I was actually on a tour beginning of March, and 2 shows in, it got canceled.
Short tour.
Short tour.
So how's that fall on you? What's that mean for you?
The industry that I work in literally lives on people coming together in
Right.
groups. So that means zero income.
Right. Rent.
Bills, rent, groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's scary.
it is.
I get it. We're gonna look at it. All right. Hey, this is Bobby. So Bobby, tell us a little bit about your world and what's the scary part right now for you?
So the scary part for me is, as a husband and father, I'm supposed to protect my family, but not being able to see what I'm supposed to protect them from just makes it really scary right now.
It feels really powerless, doesn't it?
Yep.
Scary.
Yep.
We're gonna look at it. Those are good questions, right? Those are real, honest questions, and they deserve to be answered. I think maybe that's why I'm in a good mood today, because as I'm getting ready for this talk, I think I know what the best answer is. Not the best, I think I know what the only answer is. And that's what I want to unpack with you today. Hey, before we do that, just to get ready for what God might want to teach us today, will you just join me and let's just worship together. Glad you're here.
I was buried beneath my shame. And who could carry that kind of weight? But it wasn't my tomb till I met you. And I was breathing but not alive, and all my failures I tried to hide. It was my tomb, yeah, till I met you. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave. Out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave. Out of the darkness into your glorious day. How your mercy has saved my soul, and now your freedom is all that I know. The only knew Jesus when I met you, 'cause when you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of My sin is heavy, the chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, but you called me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing, and I have a future. My eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name, oh, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. Free at last, he has ransomed me, his grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, he died for me. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Oh, I am who you say I am. Yes, I am who you say I am. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. And in my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am.
Okay, so let's take a look at this thing called fear. What are you afraid of? What's your biggest fear, right? I mean, people are afraid of all kinds of things, right? And some of them make sense, some of them don't make sense. Like this past Easter, you guys sent so many compliments into my wife Robin for sharing her story about how brave she was. And I agree, she's so brave unless bees are involved. All right, and I have permission to share this Mother of the Year award. A few years ago, when our kids were little, a bee got in our car, and my wife left two preschoolers strapped in their car seats in a parking lot to fend for themselves against the deadly bee. A stranger had to rescue my children, so we're all afraid of something, right? I mean, really, people are afraid of all kinds of things. What are you afraid of? Let's be honest, some people are afraid of death and dying. Some people are afraid of heights. You know, sometimes your fears don't even have to make sense. Like I had the same dream like 10 times in my life where I'm walking down the road and there's one of these tree mulchers and I get sucked in and it runs out of gas like halfway through. I'm not reaching in there. Some people are afraid of the dark and clowns. Some of us, we're afraid of what's happening in our financial world. Are you serious? Some people are afraid of little bitty snakes. Okay, so let's get back to this talk, all right? There's no shortage of things surrounding us right now that seem just like to scream at us, be afraid, like be very afraid. And it makes sense. I mean, you'd have to be really like naive or in denial if you don't look around this world and realize that there's some like really scary, like heavy stuff going on. And you can't ignore it, and we can't pretend it isn't real. So let's get back to the question. What are we supposed to do? What do we do? How are we supposed to deal with like the big things when life gets scary? And let me just tell you this right up front, okay? This isn't going to be some like pat you on the head, condescending, stick out your chin and grin. The sun will come out tomorrow. It's not going to be that kind of talk. I hate it when people tell me, like when I look at them and I say, I'm going through something really bad and I'm really, really scared. And their response is something like, hey, don't worry about it, man. It's not that bad. It'll all work out. I mean, sometimes honestly, I just want to punch them in the throat and go, how do you know? How do you know it is that bad? And that might not be very like pastor-like, but let's be honest. Some of us are, or we will face some really scary stuff that it is that bad. And we have no idea how or when it's going to work out, at least if it's going to work out for the good. I'm just being honest. Let's get a little more honest, okay? See, this series is unpacking the idea of the new normal, right? What's happening in our lives and our world right now compared to our memory of like the old normal. What life felt like before COVID-19 pandemic just changed everything. And we tell ourselves that we miss that. And we want to go back to old normal, the way it was before. It's familiar, it wasn't perfect, but at least I knew how to make that work. Really? Really? Let me ask you, was old normal really working for you? Okay, so the way that you have always normally dealt with fear and anxiety and worry, that was working well for you in the past? Really? Would your wife agree with that? Or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Would your kids go, yeah, my parents are great with stress, right? Would your blood pressure say that's true? Would your doctor agree? Yeah, you're great with stress. Let me ask you about your old normal, right? How many things, and I'm talking to myself here, how many things have you had to clean up after or apologize for just in, I don't know, the last year that included some version of the phrase, I'm sorry, I was just nervous, I was worried, I was scared, I was anxious. And that makes sense because you went through some hard stuff. But the stuff that you had to apologize for wasn't for saying I was scared or I was worried. No. The mess that you and I made and had to clean up is because our fear and our worry came out as anger, right? And panic and defensiveness. And we got abusive and fearful, right? In fear, we didn't mean to, okay? We didn't mean to. But our fear came out as pain. Our fear hurt people in our life, the most important people in our life. Is that it? Is that the old normal you want to go back to? I don't. See, scary stuff, it's not going away anytime soon, really, ever, right? So we got to get some stuff figured out. We got to make a plan. There has to be a better way. So, what are you afraid of? Really? What are you facing like right now? Be honest. You're really scared. It's really scary. Just pick one. There's probably a bunch. Just pick one. Pick the big one. The one that you spend a lot of minutes every day thinking about. And here's what I mean by that. Like playing it out, like playing it down the road. Usually, normally, right, to like worst case scenario. This is probably what's going to happen. That one. What are you afraid of in that one? What's your choice? What are your choices? Now, hang with me on this for just a second. Wait, so the way that God made us is that when we are confronted with something like really scary, we have two choices: flight or fight, right? If you choose flight, what that means is like you kind of throw up your hands and go, it's not my fault. I can't fix this. I'm a victim. I need to get out of here. I need to run away. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm defeated. This scary thing wins. That's flight. If you choose to fight, it means, hey, I'm going to look it in the eye. I'm going to confront it. I'm going to go to battle. I'm going to drive it away so that it cannot kill or steal or destroy me or something or someone I care about. I'm going to fight. Now, time out, okay? I'm not a prophet, but I think I'm right on this one. I bet that when I said, you got to fight, a whole bunch of us kind of rolled our eyes and we sat there on our couch or wherever we are and we thought to ourselves, how am I supposed to fight? How am I supposed to fight I lost my job. How am I supposed to fight financial uncertainty? How am I supposed to fight a pandemic? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to fight, go to battle against contracting or spreading a virus? There's nothing I can do about those things. I didn't cause them. And, beyond wearing a mask or washing my hands a lot and staying inside, I can't fight them. I can't fix them. I can't make them stop. I can't make them go away. Time out. I get it. I agree. There's some things that you get absolutely no say in, right? You can't take a stand and make a virus go away. If you would, you could. You would, right? You can't fight hard right now and just magically the money starts flowing again, right? You can't do that. You can't go do something that ensures that nobody in your life gets sick. Nobody dies because I fought hard. No. There's nothing that you can really do to make sure that things get back to normal, at least in the way you hope that normal is going to look like. But the question that's being asked is not, how can I change my circumstances so they're not scary anymore? No. The question is, how do I fight fear, worry, and anxiety when my circumstances are scary, frightening, and unknown? That's the question. And the answer to that, it's always the same. And it comes back to that word. You have choices. You have two choices, and you have to make a choice. That's really, really important when I say you have to make a choice, because when you make a choice, that's the part about you that's most like God. You get to choose. You get to choose what am I going to do with this? And here's what I want to throw out to you today is you lay down this thing, your fear and your worry and anxiety and what you're afraid of, which makes sense, all right? But you lay that beside of like something better. And then you choose. And you act on whichever one you believe will take care of you as you face whatever scary circumstance that you're facing that you can't change. Now I know this is where I'm going to probably lose a few of you, so just hang with me if you can on this, all right? And I think the people I'm going to lose are those of us who fall in that category called control freaks. And I'm in the club, all right? But here's some hard truth, all right? Most things that happen in our life are beyond our control. I mean, if this season has proven anything, it's proven that's true. It's that most of the things that happen on like the big scale in your life are beyond our control. We didn't get a choice. We didn't get a vote on it. And I'll tell you another truth, all right? That's not just the new normal. It's the old one too. It has and always will be normal. Here it is. Most of the universe is not in our control. Yeah, I'll give you an example. You can eat healthy and avoid bad habits and go to the gym 10 times, whatever. But I'm telling you, but if some cancer cell in your body gets triggered and starts to reproduce, it's not because you did or didn't do something right. It just happened. And you didn't get a say in it. You didn't get to control it. You can drive safely. You can obey all the laws. But if a drunk driver crosses the line and plows into your car, it's not because you did something wrong. It was out of your control. And parents, you know that. You feel that every time your kids leave the house, right? So much out there. It's just out of control. We've all had things happen to us, right? Or people that we love have had it happen. They've been hurt. They've lost things. They've lost people. They've lost family members. Lost kids. Lost parents. Lost friends. Not because they did something wrong. Or if they could have controlled it, if they'd done something different, maybe that wouldn't have happened. No, not true. It's not true. Even Jesus said it wasn't true. Jesus said it like this. He said, I've told you these things, and he's telling all about the things that they can count on from him. I've told you these things so that in me, in Jesus, he says, you may have peace. That's important. And then he says this, in this world, you will have trouble. And I think he could have said, we will have trouble. Because about 2 chapters later, they nail him to a cross. So he says this, in this world, it's not you might or there's a chance. He says, I promise, in this world, you're gonna face trouble. You're gonna have trouble. And then he says this, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And you gotta follow him on this. He says, in this world, I don't care how much faith you have. I don't care how much God loves you. He just says, in this world, scary, hard, troubling things are gonna hit your life. But then Jesus does something. He takes that hard thing, that trouble that hits your life, and he lays it beside something else. And it's a choice, it's a response, which he says, if you go with that choice, it will lead to peace, which by definition, I think you'll agree with me on this, all right? Peace, it's the opposite of fear. It just makes sense. And so what Jesus says is that in this world, you're gonna have trouble. And then he says this, but, and it's a big word, right? It's important because if he hadn't said but, then the rest of the sentence would have been, in this world you have trouble, and the normal result will happen. Trouble will crush you, and you'll live your life in fear and panic. That's normal. But Jesus says but, as in, but normal results don't have to land on you anymore. No. See, what he says, but in this world this is gonna happen, but with me, you can have a new normal. And it looks like this, when trouble hits your life, here's the new normal, the choice, all right? Take heart. Don't give up. You don't have to be afraid. Remember, hold on to this truth and have this hope. Choose me, trust me. Why? Because I overcome the world. I promise, I overcome the world and all the trouble that it's going to throw at you. I promise. See, do you see those two like choices, those two deals on the table, right? When it comes to dealing with fear, when this world throws trouble at you, which it will, deal one is flight, surrender, give up, be defeated. The result, there's no peace in that. Deal two, fight. How? Don't give up. How do I not give up? I gotta make a choice. I gotta choose to remember. Remember what? That you can trust that Jesus is able to keep every promise he's made to us. And he says, with me, I overcome everything. So stay with me. So let me pull this together, right? You don't always, actually rarely, do you get a choice in what the trouble is, what the scary trouble is that the world throws at you and lands on you or lands on your family? I mean, some you do, but most you don't. But you always have a choice. I always have a choice. We always have a choice as to how we're going to respond, how we're going to fight, and not fight the world or not fight the circumstances that landed on us. I mean, we might have to fight that, but this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fear and the uncertainty that those circumstances bring. I get to choose my response. What is that? I remember something like greater, like something bigger, something stronger, something higher. Like what is that? It's the promise that God won't let this defeat you. I believe that. I spent this whole last week, right, just going through the Bible, finding story after story after story after story where people were facing like overwhelming, scary circumstances, stuff that if Vegas was betting on, like they're gonna lose, they're just going down every time. Maybe you've heard these stories, like Moses leads all these people out of slavery and then they're pinned against the sea and the army's closing in. That's a losing deal, scary. David, this like high school kid facing this giant soldier named Goliath. Your money should be on Goliath. He's gonna get his head handed to him, right? Daniel being thrown into a den of lions, 3 young men about to be thrown into a fiery furnace. And in every one of those scary circumstances that normally would have ended them, normally would have caused you to just curl up in a ball and go, I can't do this. Their response was always the same. They took that, they laid what was happening to them, and they laid that to what they knew and believed to be true about God. And they remembered what God had done in the past and trusted that he's gonna do it again. He'll do it again this time. So I'm gonna choose to fight. I'm gonna choose to fight fear with faith. And they won. They won. I love how David, the same kid who fought that big soldier Goliath, I love how David writes it later. He says this is really important, when. He doesn't say if. He says, when I'm afraid. Because there's days when I get out of bed and I'm just afraid. When I am afraid, I choose to put my trust in you, God. In my favorite sermon from Jesus, I don't know if you're supposed to have favorites, but I do, all right? It's Sermon on the Mount. He actually commands us, and this is really important. It's a command. In the Greek, it's an imperative. He's like, I'm telling you, it's a choice. You can't command stuff that's not a choice. And this is the command. He looks at these people who are just really just getting everything beat out of them. I mean, they're having a hard life. And he looks at them and goes, hey, so don't worry. Saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? And what are we going to wear? These are questions we've been asking for the last 6 weeks, right? He says, don't worry about that stuff. Why? Because the pagans, and by that, he's talking about people who have no faith or trust in God, no confidence in God at all. They run after all these things. And your Heavenly Father, He knows you need them. So don't worry about that. Well, what should I do instead? Seek first His kingdom. And His righteousness. And he says, and then all these things, what? Food, clothing. What am I going to eat? What am I going to drink? He says, and I promise all those things will be given to you as well. He says, now if that's true, therefore, do not worry. Make a choice. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. Why? Because tomorrow will worry about itself. That's true. Each day has enough trouble of its own. It's a command. And the command comes from Jesus is this, hey, don't act like people who don't have faith in me. I mean, it makes sense if you don't trust me, but you say you trust me, so why are you acting like you don't trust me? Instead, choose not to act and react based on fear and worry. Instead, choose to act like you believe that you have a God. You have the kind of God who knows exactly what you need, and the kind of God who keeps His promises, and He promises to supply whatever you need. You don't have to figure out how He's going to do it. He just promises that He will. So don't worry. Command it, Jesus says. But choose to seek God. Trust God, what He wants done, and God's promises to make sure that I'll have everything I need, you need. He promises. So let's get back to this question. So what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to deal with fear and worry and anxiety during this COVID-19 pandemic? And the answer is you got two options. You got two deals on the table. Flight, you give in, you surrender, and you get defeated again. And you let fear continue to come out sideways on all those people around you that are looking to you going, do you have confidence? Are we going to be okay? Or you can fight. But not in your own strength. That won't last long. Trust me. No, I'm going to fight by faith, which simply means this. I believe, and I do, I believe in the kind of God who can make a way when there doesn't seem to be a way. Oh, He's got it. I believe in the kind of God who can move mountains. I believe the kind of God that He did it for Moses. I think He can do it again. He can split an ocean and can deliver me from sure death and defeat. I do. I believe in the kind of God who can see people through impossible circumstances. And I believe that same God, I believe He's with me in what I'm going through right now. He's done it in the past. And I really believe He'll do it again. So let me ask you, what's your scary thing? Like, what's the Goliath that you're facing in your life right now? What's the fire you feel like you're about to get thrown into? What's the impossible circumstance that you're facing and you're scared? So let me ask you one more question. And it's not about the new normal. It's actually about the old normal. It's a normal that never changes. It goes like this. I want you to ask yourself this. Think about it. If in your most shameful, biggest regret, I wish I could get that moment back again, times of your life. If in those moments, God never quit on you. God never gave up on you. My question is, what makes us think he's going to do it now? Why do you think he's going to pick now to quit on us? See, the God we have is the same God we read about in the Bible that showed up and never quit on anybody. He was faithful even when we weren't faithful. It's the kind of God we have. And we believe he'll do it again. I do, I believe that. So, what are you going to do? And the answer is you got two choices, right? I'm gonna flight, I'm running, and I'm gonna be defeated again. And I'm not gonna have peace. Okay. Or you're gonna fight. But not fight in your own strength fight. You're gonna fight with this faith. You're gonna fight with this faith that the same God who can move a mountain, he'll do it again. The same God who can make a way when there is no way, he'll do it again. The same God who did impossible stuff in the past, he will do it again. I believe that. Do you believe that? I do. I believe that. Do you? Do you believe he'll do it again? This is going to be weird, but wherever you're listening to my voice, then say it. I believe. I'm serious. Do you believe? I believe. Do you? I do. And if you do, if the answer is, yeah, I do believe in that kind of God, then welcome to your new normal. It's called peace. So God, we live in a really scary world, in a really scary time, and we can't fix it, and we can't control it, but we have this one thing that we can hold on to, and that's you. It's this faith and this trust that you don't change, and that you don't give up on people, you don't quit. And you're not gonna quit on us now. You're gonna make a way. You're gonna move a mountain. You're gonna walk through this valley with us. You've done it before, and we believe you're gonna do it again. We believe it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won. For you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed me yet. I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Oh, yes, it will. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail.
promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed me yet. You never failed me.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. You know, my biggest fear is actually looking straight into a camera and talking to thousands of people all at one time. So I just want to thank Jim and leadership for giving me this opportunity to live out my worst nightmare right here, right before your eyes. Now the good news is I actually have some stuff I want to share with you guys that we're pretty excited about. Number one, thank you so much for your generosity. The people here that have been giving on a regular basis, that are still giving online, that is what literally makes this church work. So thank you for your generosity. And then 2 weeks ago, we launched a COVID-19 relief fund, and Jim challenged us to take our stimulus checks and take a portion of that and use it to either help our neighbors or a friend, or even just give to the fund that we've created, the COVID-19 fund. So I'm here to say right now that we've already raised in just 2 weeks over $150,000. That is incredible. Way to go, guys. So speaking of stepping up, we've really stepped up our online presence. I don't know if you guys have kind of felt that there's a lot going on online right now these days. And we'd love for you to just engage with us throughout the week. Check out Instagram, Facebook, and let's just keep this conversation going. And from there, we'll just see you guys next week. All right, thanks so much.